Okay, in this video we're going to go over the process of drawing a perpendicular bisector of a line segment. Alright, so this is going to be a little more complicated than the process we just saw in terms of copying a line segment, but the tools we're going to use are the same. So we're going to need a straight edge and compass for this process. So the first thing we need to do is draw ourselves a line segment that we're going to perpendicular bisect. So we could label this line segment AB. Okay, so we're now going to take our compass, and what we're going to do is open the compass up to a width that's over half of the width of line segment AB, or the length of line segment AB. So you need to make sure that you open up your compass to a width that is more than halfway between points A and B. And we'll see why we had to do this in a second. So we're going to open our compass up more than halfway of the width of the length of line segment AB, and we're going to draw an arc above line segment AB, and we're going to draw an arc below line segment AB. And then what we're going to do from there is do the same thing repeated, except starting from point B. So now we're going to take the fixed point of our compass and affix it to point B, and do the same thing. We're going to make an arc below line segment AB, and we're going to make an arc above line segment AB. Alright, so at this point we are done with our compass, and we're going to take our straight edge, and what you'll see here is we made two sets of intersecting arcs above and below line segment AB. So all we have to do to draw our perpendicular bisector is connect those two intersecting arcs. Alright, so we can put our straight edge up here so that it goes through both sets of intersecting arcs and draw ourselves a line straight through those 2 points. And so this is going to be our perpendicular bisector. So I want to take a sec and show why we can't do this if we don't open the compass up more than halfway between points A and B. So let's say we were going to open our compass up less than halfway between points A and B, something like this perhaps, and we tried to make our arc below and above the line segment. And then we did the same thing from point B, made our arc above and our arc below. You'll see the issue that arises here is that these arcs are never going to intersect, right? We have these arcs here. We need those intersection points of all the arcs because they tell us where our perpendicular bisector needs to go through. If we don't open our compass up more than half of the width from A to B, we're not going to get those intersecting points when we draw our arcs. So it's crucial when you do this perpendicular bisector that you open your compass up beyond halfway from point A to B, or whatever points your line segment happens to be. If you want to be safe, what you can always do is open your compass up the width of line segment AB, or whatever line segment it is that you're copying. And again, you could do an arc above and below, and we could do the same thing from the other side. Make an arc above and below. Notice an important thing here is when you switch from point A to point B, you need to keep your compass the same width. If you change the width of the compass, then your intersecting arcs are not going to be forming a perpendicular bisector when you connect them. Okay, so from point A to point B, again, we could see that these arcs down here, if we tried to extend our line, right, we would see that our original perpendicular bisector, if we continued it down here, would eventually cross through the same, didn't go so well, would eventually cross through, roughly, in this case, the point of intersecting arcs that we made down here. Okay, so to review this process, the first thing we need to do is have a line segment to copy, and we need to open up our compass more than halfway of the distance from point A to point B, or whatever 2 points of the line segment you have. From there, you draw yourself an arc above and below the line segment, and then switch your compass so that the fixed point is now at the other end of the line segment, keeping the width of the compass the same, and then draw an arc above and below the line segment. You need these intersecting points because that's where you're going to draw your perpendicular bisector through. So once you get those intersected points, you connect those 2 points with a straight edge, and that gives us our perpendicular bisector. Alright, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.